Let me start with the simple concept of leadership brand. Every leader has a leadership brand, not just the senior folks. Yep, you have a leadership brand. Now, the real question we need to be asking ourselves about our leadership brand is not what it is. What we should be asking ourselves is the leadership brand that we think we have actually what is being received by the people we're working with, subordinates, peers, and seniors. Today, let's take apart the definition of what your leadership brand is. It's made up of two areas. Number one, how you're experienced, and two, how you make people feel. Welcome to Great Transition Strategies Monday Morning Stand-Up. 5 minutes to get your week off to a great start and potentially give yourself something to help make you a more effective leader so you can love what you do. Leadership brand, two parts. First part, how you're experienced as a leader. Number two, how you make people feel. So when I talk about a leadership brand, that's it. That's all I'm talking about. That's what the definition is. Every individual experiences us in a certain way. So leadership brand is not about just what I intend, what I think I want it to be, or it's not what I hope it's going to be. It's actually what it's like to work with me, what it's like to work with you, and how people walk away from that interaction, how they feel about it. So most leaders, we spend a lot of time thinking about how we want to be seen, how we want to be as a leader. What we really should be thinking about, or what you should really be thinking about, is how am I experienced as a leader? When we're in a leadership role, we are the only person who does not experience our leadership. I'll say that again. Leaders are the only person who does not experience their own leadership. We have to get that data. We may intend to be to lead in a certain way, but we may not be experienced that way. So let's talk about how we're experienced. Suppose you intend to be an assertive leader who's very direct. You might be experienced as someone, what the individual experiences is someone who's intimidating. You might intend to be calm and laissez-faire, easygoing. That interpretation, the way someone experiences you, that might be you're disengaged, not a leader that they want to work with. That doesn't mean we're a bad leader because we're interpreted. What that means is there's a gap between what we intend, what we think, and how we're actually received and experienced. There's a gap, and we need to close that gap. Why does this matter? Our leadership's a great differentiator. Leadership affects a lot of people. How people trust us, how well motivated people are, the effort they put in, how engaged they are. That affects all those things with the individuals that we lead. When we have individuals that we're working with, they decide, for instance, an individual will decide how open they're going to be with me long before I ever ask them their opinion. Same thing with individual, they're going to decide how much effort they're going to put in long before I set a standard and say, here's my expectation. They don't care about they already know because they have worked with me before. They've experienced me before. They know what they experienced and they know how they felt about that. So they have made those decisions. So my leadership brand is extremely important, because that gets passed along. It's what folks experience from us and it's how we make them feel. So here's a question. Now that we worked through that definition, go forth this week and in the workplace, collect data on this. If I went and asked the question, tell me about what it's like to work with Gary as a leader. Tell me what it's like to work with Julie. You're going to hear two things. Listen for two things. What they say and how they say it. What they say is how they experience me. Oh, I worked with Gary and it's really been great this year because of these particular reasons. What they say is how they experienced me. Two, how they say it is how I made them feel. What are people going to say about you? The what are they going to say about you, how they experienced you, and how did you make them feel? This week, gather that data, and then next week we're going to we're going to continue this, and we're going to talk about how do you deliberately set your your leadership brand? How do you ensure that your leadership brand is built intentionally? If you found this helpful, share it, follow me. See you next Monday morning, 8:30. Have a great week.